Let's talk more about these United earnings. For that, we turn to Mike Boyd, president of Boyd Group International. Mike, it's good to see you. And as I was saying earlier, I guess we knew in sort of vague terms that there would be effects like this. This is the first really specific, concrete example we have. Talk to us about how airlines think about these sort of geopolitical events and how to deal with them.
Well, it's one of those things. I have a question whether one route, i.e. one market, Tel Aviv, could knock things down as low as that. Maybe it could. But it's a good indication of how geopolitical issues can have an effect. Like, for example, U.S.-China market used to be 6 million people back and forth, or more, 8 million. It's down to like less than 500,000. Geopolitical issues can affect the airline unexpectedly, but it's also coming at a time when fuel prices are up and are going to stay up. And now we have labor costs going up. So I think it's natural for United to say the fourth quarter may not be as rosy as we might have expected originally.
So, Mike, geopolitical risk is one issue that United is calling out here, the suspension of flights to Tel Aviv, but higher jet fuel costs, another one. How does United navigate that challenge in the months ahead here?
Well, they're the best in the business of pricing, and they know how to they know how to manage, the value of their seats. That's one way. But you can't do much when, the price of Go Juice goes up 20% in a month. You've got to accommodate that. And that means that maybe this, $1.50 per earnings might be $1.25 next time around, only because the costs have gone up. United didn't have a lot of control over a lot of that. But if you take a look at the way United is run, they can absorb it.
And so what are some of the levers that, like, if you're topping on the conference call, what do you want to hear from the company in terms of how they are managing those costs?
Well, I would want to see what are they going to do going forward to maintain revenues. I don't necessarily buy into the fact that one market, Tel Aviv, is going to put them down that much. But how are they going to manage going forward? What's going to happen in the Far East if China does something with Taiwan? What's going to happen in Latin America, for example, with increased competition there? What's going to happen if, a leisure traffic starts to fall? International traffic is in a bubble right now, and I think United Airlines probably knows that. But when that bubble starts to deflate, how are they going to deal with that?
And Mike, I was talking to Julie as the print hit here, and saying how some analysts on the street who cover this name, they thought United was in some ways better positioned than some peers, not only because of its international footprint, Mike, but they also made the case that United was better positioned because of its exposure to corporates, to the business segment. Do you think that business segment holds up here?
I think it does, less so than we thought before 9/11, or 9/11, before COVID came to town. But nevertheless, it is there. And again, it's the international business segment that pays the freight. Domestic business is not going to respond or recover as much as they think, but international. And I think United has had a really good look at what's happening in terms of flows across the Atlantic. Going to places like Malaga. Who cares? It does for them because nobody else does it. They're doing things like that really are positioning them for the next 6 or 8 months of uncertainty.
And for what it's worth, just to give a little context to the Tel Aviv news here, Bloomberg is saying that United has the most service to that city among the U.S.-based airlines. It actually accounts for about 2% of its annual capacity, which is quite interesting and high, right? But finally, what I do want to ask you as well is, United we heard from Delta as well, but are there any implications of this United report for the other airlines?
Sure, they're all going to be subject to the same fuel. They're going to be subject to very similar labor cost increases, and they're all going to have to deal with it. Does this mean there's a torpedo heading? No, it's just some rougher skies than we had originally anticipated. But to be very blunt, the major airlines in America, including Southwest, the top four, they're in a very good shape to get through a lot of turbulence in the next 6 to 8 months.
All right, Mike, great to catch up with you and take advantage of your expertise in this area. Mike Boyd, good to see you.
Thank you.